That's all I gotta say. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. Probably one of the greatest theme songs of all time, the X-Men, right? Particularly that 90s cartoon that came out, which really just had me in books for a little bit there when it comes to comics, because I was like, oh man, this is awesome. This is great. And that theme song is one of the most adrenaline pumping things ever, to a point where I still go out, and when I'm out on a run and I'm like, I need a song to really get the people going. I definitely clicked that one on. So, to watch what's taking place, it really is saddening in a lot of ways, because the Children of the Atom, it was a video game, and that's another medium in which the X-Men really had a hold of the 90s, because there, in every arcade or movie theater you went to, there was this giant X-Men video game. But this wasn't that. But X-Men Children of the Atom was also a video game. So what they're doing is the same thing they're doing with the New Mutants, and they're flipping everything around and really putting a feminist spin on it. And before I get this one going, right, because I'm about to get into this trailer, I want to say that the Fox executive that put that TV show on, that original X-Men cartoon in the 90s, it was a chick. It was a female. She believed in it, and she went hard for that show. And so I know a lot of people tend to think, oh, Jay, you're this sexist douchebag who, misogynist or anything else like that. No. I've always said it's been a collaborative effort. But, what that executive, I guess, really granted Marvel was the idea that, we should become it should always be about the chicks and the girls and everything else like that. Whereas that executive was far more, calculated and cunning, and it was a completely different time. So I'm really not this person who wants to discredit women or anything else like that, but we have to, there's always exceptions to rules, but the rules are rules for a reason. We need the order. So let's get into this.
There's so many things I could tease about Children of the Atom, but I will say one thing, and that's...
What is with these guys and their complete lack of testosterone in Marvel right now, yo? Like, come on. Shout out to Critical Drinker, because when he went over the other, the New Mutant situation, right? He was like, yeah, look at this tough talking, take no nonsense straight shooter that we got going for us. I'm like, oh, thank you, God. He put it in words that I couldn't particularly describe at the time, but yeah, it's like, bro, this is a little, like, your energy, your whole energy is just... like, hey, yeah, man, like you will bend over backwards. Conflict is not your thing. You don't seem as if you are the type who would, stand tall and fight. And I'm not talking about, fight in arena. No. Put them up, like fist up, take a few swings, fight for whatever it is that you care passionately about. It's this really limp-wristed situation going on here.
New characters.
X-Men is supposed to be something that is,
Okay. All right. So I assume this is a gender's... Wow. Oh, there's a lot going on here. So you got Sister Gambit. You got, Captain Marvel Cyclops. The other two are a little bit on the shorter side, I guess. When they get to the individual stuff, we'll get to it. But really, Gambit's a black chick now. Really, the Cajun sensation is now a chick. I loved Gambit. So Gambit was like always one of the cooler ones because of his powers with the kinetic energy and everything else like that. Particularly in the animated series, you play, playing cards, just throwing playing cards, something that you could something that literally anybody could do. I always put Gambit, as far as like his power set, up there with something special, like Spider-Man's, right? But hey, Spider-Man's a chick now too.
Important to the now, and so what is more now than Zoomers?
sweetheart, you do not want to get into a generational war, okay? Like, stop, cut it out, like, really. And this is a sis. I don't know. Her name's Zita Ayala. She's the writer on it. I'm pretty sure. I'm assuming Spanish or something like that. That's the thing about American accents. It can really like throw you off as to how a person looks.
Children of the Atom has 5 new characters at the heart of it that Vita very meticulously wrote out entire backstories and histories and families and anything you want to know about these characters, Vita has thought about it already.
Are they good people? You know, what? There's tons of things that you'd like to know about characters, but the question is, like, you know, it's one thing to put it in the backstory, it's another thing to interweave it in the story. It's another thing for that cat, or for all that lore that you're talking about to actually be the story. You know, it's a part of that show don't tell thing. You know, like, hey, whatever this person's about, their actions should reflect that more than, you know, all of the backstory that you want to give them. Star Wars should be teaching you guys this stuff.
One of them has a TikTok. One of them has a fitness Insta. One of them...
Are they saving anybody, though? Because, you know, that's kind of the thing about the whole... Like, I don't give a shit about your TikTok or your Insta. I care if you're saving people. I care... Like there's a lot of... like, one of the things I really liked about Aquaman was how cheesy it was, right? Like, they had a gigantic bell falling down, and there was this little girl underneath it, and instead of grabbing up the little girl, Aquaman goes and just bangs into the bell. It was such an awesome scene, but it was him saving people, and that's, you know, a big part of it, far more important than, you know, what their Insta and TikToks is. And she just reminds me of that girl that has a cursory you know, knowledge of lore and the like, and she's just like running with it, as opposed to, you know, like, I don't know, being able to contribute something new, you know, because none of the things that we've seen over the past 2 days from Marvel has been new at all. It's just like rehashes. Like, you know, if you want to make a black character, a black female character, by all means make it, but you don't have to sit there and swap it out for another already pre-established character. And that's really where I think Hollyweird is just lost the plot. You know, like Hollyweird, they're trying to reckon and come to terms with the fact that a lot of the pieces put in place, you know, due to maybe that executive over at Fox, because, oh, well, you know, she made this hit, so well, the more women the better. You know, and so they went a little nuts with it, and Hollyweird as general, and now they're seeing, like, what was that? How many feminist movies have flopped, you know, over 19 and 20 so far? You know, from Charlie's Angels to I guess Little Woman. Was Little Woman? I don't know the expectations on that film, but like they're but even beyond that, you know, all the way back to Ghostbusters, like this, it doesn't work, primarily because you come at it from a superficial standpoint, you know, like this, hey, how does it look? Is it look cool? Or as RJ over at the Fourth Wall has said many times, that Marvel wants to be a lifestyle brand, and a lifestyle brand caters more to women and the female mind, as opposed to, you know, us as guys who are more who actually, for the most part, built these staples of American pop culture up. But, you know, keep going.
Is basically the moderator for the mutant subreddit. One of them is a cosplayer, and the other one makes mutant music.
If they're a cosplayer, then why are they being taken seriously? Because they're a cosplayer, they don't have any powers. And I assume, being a cosplayer, you're not, you know, Bruce Wayne rich. So
for so long, it's like the larger media in the X-Men universe is like, mutants are bad, and like the X-Men are evil because they're mutants, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what would Zoomers think of that? They wouldn't. They would be like, no, they're great.
Word. How old is this chick? Is she a Zoomer? I don't think she's a Zoomer. I think she's a millennial. I think she's like late model millennial. And yeah. It's like watching us, like, that's the thing, it's this soccer mom sentiment, right? It's this soccer mom sentimentality that's around all of this shit that has to just go away, please.
Like,
How the X-Men react to these new characters who are their sidekicks is a major part of the story that is going to have all sorts of ripples through.
Okay, so hold on, let's take this back up for like, what is it? Can I get to another part of the panel?
Have all.
A little bit more. Okay, there we go. So they're not replacing them. They're not replacing them. They're just, you know, them. Like, I would feel weird. I would be like, yo, get your own shtick, all right? That'd be the first thing that I tell them. Like, we're going to give the X-Men sidekick. Like, yo, what is with y'all as sidekicks, man? I know it's a pretty decent Chuck Norris film. I know that movie was trash, but I still love the movie Sidekicks. It like, it played to the fantasies and stuff, and that was so awesome. But either ways, this is ridiculous. This is taking it to levels just completely unnecessary, and it's two chicks and a fat dude. Like, come on, yo, seriously. And then, oh man, like, you see the way that they're drawing Jean Grey over there. Why do it to the redhead like that?
Is a major part of the story that is going to have all sorts of ripples through their titles and ours.
but also, you know, it's an X-Men comic. There's going to be powers, and there's going to be punching, and there's going to be bad guys, and all that kind of stuff.
Who's getting saved? That's I guess that's the question. You know, like, what's the conflict? Who's getting saved?
I'm very excited to have Vita Ayala and Bernard Chang as part of this title.
Bernard really, really brought the thunder on this. It's really incredibly dynamic.
Because he not only had to design these.
I will say that I think this art is a bit better than the New Mutant ones. I will say that much, but like, that's about it.
Superhero identities, but also these civilian identities, and like people's moms and like their little brother, and he's making these characters real and whole in a way that a lot of artists probably couldn't.
X-Men was some of my first comics ever, and to be able to play in that universe and also to add to that
No. This is why comics, like, if you're unaware right now, like, the comic book, like all brick and mortar stores are taking hits, right? But like, it's the ones that try to push comics. I mean, I think GameStop turned down pushing comic books because these stories that have been coming out and these new characters and these worlds in which she likes to play in, and like, yeah, you guys run them into the damn ground. And it'd be one thing if, you know, like, it was all Disney, so the people at these stores were actually working for Disney and were getting a share of that type of profit. But they're not. These are small business owners that, you know, you're kind of banging. You're really screwing over. And another thing is that, like, yo, we've seen the trend of Hollywood. All they had was comic book movies, you know? Like, that's all they've been trying to push. And so thusly, you got a whole ton of weirdos that, you know, like, see the connection right there. And that's been taking place since Kevin Smith made Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. So, you know, all these people in the comic book industry are like, oh yeah, well, I just want this to become a movie. I want to be able to sell these rights and get these dollars. And thusly, it's been so, that industry's been so weird, man. It really has. That a lot of the mainstay, the one that runs like 60% of that has 60% of the market share, is doing bullshit like this.
Verse is really a dream come true.
So if you've never read an X-Men book before and you're only familiar with them in other mediums, this is a great place to start off.
It's almost like
No, it's not. This is the worst place to start off, seriously. Like, I'm pretty sure you can find the throwback stuff from the 90s, particularly when it comes to the X-Men, because even though the X-Men have been around since the 60s, you know, like, the 90s run was the one that was, like, you know, super 90s and extreme and really cool, and was focused on being cool, not focused on, you know, oh man, my diversity and people with weird body shapes and stuff like that.
kids are our perspective, so anything that you don't know, you're discovering it through these kids. I don't think we've seen this perspective in X-Men comics before, and I think people are going to super dig it.
Wasn't Jubilee like a kid? Memory serves me correctly. I mean, she was made specifically for the show, like as a medium for, you know, regular folks to start to learn about that universe and how that universe worked. But you know, this is not the same universe. It's not. I think that once the writers change, the universe changes. This is not the same space that was created oh so long ago. But yeah, man, this is the move. This is the wave for for the X-Men folks. So hey guys, it is what it is. It hasn't been my medium for a really long time. It really wasn't. Just as I learned, saw, and met more characters, I'd be like, oh yeah, okay, I definitely want to check out, you know what I'm saying, that stuff. But that was from a different time. Like this 2020 shit is just garbage. But it's like with Hollywood in and of itself, like all of these spaces, I feel like they are getting they're a big reset button is being pressed right now on all of this, and we'll see how it is coming out on the other side. Anyways, guys, with that being said, all the internet stuff, if you like to toss it, like, dislike, go ahead, do that too. Nobody's scared of you. Sup, if you enjoy my fantastic voice, you want to get videos like this every single day, share, because sharing is caring, and YouTube and BitChute and like aren't the biggest fans of your boy over here for very obvious reasons. Bang the bell for notifications and speak. Let me know, what do you guys think in the comments? Like really, you gave them all sidekicks for no other reason than, oh yeah, we want to diversify, and not even make the sidekicks different. That's the thing that kind of irritates me too. It's like you gave them sidekicks with the same powers. What the hell, man? Cut it out. So with that being said, let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you disagree, if you think, oh man, this is great, I've always wanted to see a black chick Gambit, or a female Captain Marvel Cyclops, or a fat Jean Grey that can't stay off of their damn phones, let me know. All right, until the next one.